Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Now that my two obligatory informative videos are done for the day, I'm going to go ahead and talk to you guys about something that I think is interesting to the community, something a little different. And that has to do with Zyzz, because he was kind of different. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. And this is an interesting person to talk about because he gained so much fame online in the fitness and lifting world. And here's the thing, this is one of the things that I hear bodybuilders, powerlifters, and strength athletes alike all say, and they say it with contempt. They hate him. I see a lot of them who hate the shit out of Zyzz, and they say he got famous for doing nothing. He didn't compete in anything. You know, and that's the interesting thing. That's the interesting thing, and this is coming from someone who has competed in powerlifting. I'm still identified with being a power lifter. Even though I tell people if you don't compete in something, you're no longer part of it. You're not a bodybuilder if you're no longer competing in bodybuilding. You're no longer a power lifter if you haven't been on the platform in 2 years. You're not a power lifter. You don't have at least another one planned. So I don't really consider myself a power lifter anymore. I still like the sport, still enjoy doing it. But that's the thing. He wasn't any of those things. Wasn't any of those things. And they hate him for it. And the thing is, that goes to show how these guys take this amateur shit that we do way too motherfucking seriously. We take it way too seriously. Seriously, guys. These things are basically storms in a teacup. Do you guys honestly think anyone gives a single fuck about anything that happens in powerlifting outside the powerlifting world? You think outside of the tiny little community anyone gives a single fuck? You guys think anyone outside the bodybuilding world knows who the top 3 or 4 ranked natural pro bodybuilders are? You think anybody even knows their fucking names? How about even untested IFBB pros? Do you think outside of Arnold Schwarzenegger, anybody outside of the bodybuilding world knows who the Mr. Olympia fucking is? Do you think anybody knows? No, they don't. They don't know. They don't care. These are niche communities. But we take them so seriously, don't we? We take them so seriously. And that's the point. This guy trolled all of these people. And that's the sad part. I think that's one of the saddest part of his stories. When I look at what the guy did, I don't always appreciate his message. I don't like his message that a lot of people take from it. But when you step back and really look at the guy, I think the guy was insanely intelligent. Now people are going to say, well, he was intelligent enough to have a heart attack and die at 22. That's besides the point. He was also young and foolish, like most of us were at 21 and 22. We were all fucking stupid at that age. We all made mistakes. We did stupid stuff. It happens. I think the saddest part is that when I've really looked back at what he did and thought about it, what he did was brilliant. And I think it's sad that he didn't get to tell the full story. Because all these young guys see what he did. He was a gamer. Skinny gaming nerd. Got into lifting, got into drugs, got in the party scene, got laid a lot. Outgoing, built a cult following, got laid a lot. Showed that, hey, you can be a nerd, still get laid. You get laid a lot. They loved him for it. Gamers loved him for it. Tons of gamers started lifting because of this guy. Now that's the legacy he left. That part I can appreciate. I don't appreciate the party scene. I think that was a terrible message and it killed him. Killed him at 22. But I can damn well appreciate that he got tens of thousands of gamers up off the computer and into the weight room. That's a lasting legacy. I think that's worthwhile. I think that's worthwhile. I think that should be his legacy. But what I wish his legacy would have been, and I think if he was given the choice, he wouldn't have wanted to die at 22. He'd still want to be alive doing his thing, still getting laid, still having fun. He wouldn't want to be dead right now. If he could change anything, I'm sure he would. And that's the saddest part. It's not necessarily just the tragedy that this young man died. I mean, he still left a solid legacy. Got a lot of people in the gym. What I think the tragedy is that he didn't get to tell his real story, because that's where people missed it and how he trolled the community. Because he was basically taking the piss. He was making fun of the training world. He was making fun of the aesthetics world and having fun doing it. But here's what he did. And this shows his brilliance. He didn't become himself. Everyone's like, oh, he got to finally go out and be himself. No, he wasn't. That wasn't who he was. He was a skinny, shy gaming nerd. That's who he was. With probably a very high IQ, a little socially awkward, but very intelligent. The ability to think things through, the ability to think outside the box, the ability to think of how can I do stuff efficiently, because he was a successful gamer. Gamers theory craft a lot. They theory craft, and anyone who's game knows what I'm talking about. Most efficient way to build your character. It's the most efficient build. What's the best way to play whatever this role is in the game? This was a game to him. He looked at it and said, I want to go out and have fun and train and lift weights and get girls. I need to create a character that can do that. Just like when you get on your computer, create a character, he created an avatar. Zyzz was his gamer tag. It was his character. He brought it into the real world. And I don't mean that was his character in the game. He created a fantasy character for himself to play in a massive virtual reality game. That virtual reality game was a party scene in the real world. He created a character for it. What did he do? Like a typical gamer, gave it a gamer name. Zyzz. Look at the name Zyzz. Tell me that doesn't look like a gamer tag. Alright? It looks like a gamer tag. Come on. How do you even pronounce that? It's a gamer tag. He created a character. And he looked and said, this is the avatar I want. This is the hairdo I want. These are the tattoos I want. Just like in a video game. But he said, what's the fastest way to build? What's the most efficient way? I'm going to research. I'm going to read and research and take in all the data and figure out the most efficient way to build the character that I want to build. He's like, oh, let's see. Trenbolone seems to be the key. All right, well, low testosterone, just a little bit of testosterone. Too much testosterone doesn't make you that aesthetic, but it keeps your sex drive up. I don't need that sex drive. A little bit of test. Tren. That seems to be it. That's the only roid that really matters. That's the most potent body sculpting and recompositioning agent anyone's ever found. I'm going to use as much of that as I can get my hands on. And he did. He used a lot of it. He used a gram of Tren a week. That's a lot, guys. Yes, that was confirmed. I saw the proof of that years ago. He did use a gram of Tren. Let's see. High volume training, a lot of compounds, a lot of extra shoulder work, a lot of arm work, front squats. Okay, all this aesthetics work, high volume training, a lot of chicken, brown rice, broccoli. Okay, that seems to be the winning ticket. That seems to be the most efficient way to build my character. And he did it. He did it. He built a reasonably impressive physique in a short period of time. Because he just said, screw all this other stuff. What's the most efficient way to get there? In the fastest time possible. What's my character build? What's the best way to build all these stats up? Oh, let's see the trend. Let's see that. Oh, it helps multiple things. It overlaps. It will not only sculpt my body, it builds muscle, burns fat, and makes you more confident. Well, I'm going to need to look better, and I'm going to need to be confident to be this character. Yeah, this is my stuff right here. Efficiency. He did it exactly like a gamer. Exactly like a high IQ, high functioning gamer would build a character. It's exactly what he did. And then he came out, built an entourage, got all them on all the same drugs, built his entourage, his following, his whole gaming group, his party there, his raid, whatever you want to call it. And they went out and slayed. And he created a persona because he knew that who he was, the shy nerd, wouldn't be able to do all this stuff on the camera. The shy nerd, the person that he was inside, wouldn't be able to go get all these girls. But the confident, aesthetic, over the top, Zyzz could do it. That's what he did. He created a character. It was an act for him. It was a character. It was all a big video game. And he trolled the shit out of the online fitness world and the online lifting world. He did. Because he went to show them, look, if you're just efficient about it, if you just diet this way, train this way, you pin a bunch of Tren, you can be there in no time. Look, I did it. And then he showed it off. Over the top confidence. Now, the Tren helped him with that. The drugs helped with that. But that's what he did. And he did it and didn't go compete in anything. He got famous by being efficient because he realized competing, that's a slow way to get anywhere. Why should I compete in anything? That's not my goal. My goal is to create a persona that's known and seen and people know who I am, and to get girls. I don't need to compete to do any of that. I just got to be confident. I just have to be over the top. And he trolled everyone. And that's the thing. I think had he lived long enough, he would have been able to tell that story of, look, guys, I did it like I theory crafted. I thought of what's the fastest, most efficient way to build this character that I want, and I did it. I did it in no time. And yeah, I was making fun of the whole training world. I wasn't one of them. I was a gamer. I was an outsider. I'm not one of those guys. I'm not part of their group. I'm the nerdy outsider. But I showed that for people who are intelligent and who are nerdy, who set their mind to doing this, we can do it too. And we can do it without being part of their world. I didn't have to step on a bodybuilding stage. I didn't have to step in a powerlifting meet. None of that was necessary. I didn't have to be part of their world. I created my own little world. I played the game my own way. And I think it would have been interesting to hear his story, because I think that's what actually happened. And you know what? I might be wrong, but that's my theory. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.